You ask somebody how far they hit it, and the answer does not end in a 0 or a 5, fear that person. If somebody says, oh, my 9-iron, I hit it 144, don't play them for money. That's a bad thing. They really are good.
Welcome to another episode of Scratch to Scratch, where I try to go from scratch to scratch golf by all means necessary. So far, I've realized that I still have a problem with bowing my wrists, making consistent impact, and even though my shots may look good, they're horribly wrong. And so today, we are back with my Hall of Fame coach, Mike Woodruff, with some good tips around that, but also some simple and effective drills in order to stop that. So without wasting time, let's get into it.
Warm up and hit just a couple. I got you aimed at the 125 can. See that red can out there? Do you know how far you hit a 9-iron right now?
It ranges from like 130 to 150.
Okay, 130 to 150.
Yeah, depending on how good I hit it. Sometimes I hit it good, sometimes I hit it bad.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
See, that has to be a number, not a range.
I know,
okay?
I know.
Okay, so hit a couple 9-irons for me.
Ooh.
Not a lot of ground contact.
Not a lot of ground contact.
Okay, all right. Okay, that was a scrape. I need a thump.
Yeah.
Listen to this sound. Keep your hands on it. Okay, so here we go. That's the sound we're looking for.
Oh my God.
Okay. Drum, we're gonna have a good time today, okay?
Not again.
You know more about it than you are currently doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happens as a result is you get what I call diminishing returns. You get to the point where you feel like you're not better at the end of a practice session than you are at the beginning. That's bad, but especially your next one doesn't get better.
Yeah.
You just think, well, I made a bad swing. I hope I do better on this one, but you're not laying blame at the door for what's going on. The hardest thing in this game is that things are going fast. And because things are going fast, when you're trying to show your body that address is never impact, you have to be in a different spot, you have to be able to feel that no matter how fast you're going. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna deconstruct this whole thing so you can ask yourself the question, when I'm in what's supposed to be the impact position, does it feel anything like what I'm actually doing? And as a result, could I make an adjustment that would be fruitful right away? I'm gonna start out at normal address. Come on over here for just a second so you can see. And you know that, as I told you, address is never impact. So I don't want to have an inward bend. I don't want to have a straight line. I want to have an outward bend, okay? Technically a 160-degree angle. I'm going to go forward into that spot where I have the outward bend, but my club face is too open. What's wrong? What should I do here? Should I bring my hands back? No, I wouldn't have the outward bend. I wouldn't have the 160-degree angle. What do I have to do?
Bow your wrists.
That's right, okay. So your address wrist is different than your impact wrist. If you're not used to doing that, okay, what'll happen is you'll have a cuppy wrist here, you'll have a cuppy wrist here, you have a cuppy wrist there, so I guess you should have a cuppy wrist here too, right? No, you shouldn't, okay? But getting good at what it's like to be in a position where the forwardness of the hands results in a change in the wrist position, that's a big deal. Now, right hand off. Okay, now hold the club out in front of you like this, so your thumb is directly between you and the shaft. Okay, so see how you're not seeing above or below. Now, look at the club face over there on mine. It's straight up and down, and yours is pointing away from you. Yeah. So yours is more closed than mine is. Mm-hmm. Now, I recommended that you did that last time, but I need you to understand why. Okay, if you have the back of your left hand and the club face on the same plane, then the back of your left hand is the club face for your body. That's what you're going to try to do. To be able to get ahead the proper amount and change the wrist so that that makes the club square, number one, it gets the club square, but it also builds up the muscle that does that. Mm-hmm. Now, if you get ahead and the club face is open, you're going to be tempted to stay back to be able to square the club up, and that's not a good thing. Yeah. So if you get ahead and you're not good at doing that, you could have the club square by having a grip that was a little stronger. Yeah. But that's a stopgap measure. At some point, you want to be able to get that to happen. But how is anybody going to get good at doing that? Well, you have to spend some time in that position. Yeah. So that's what we're going to do to start with today. Okay, I'm going to have you grab on up here with your right hand. And we're going to put this left hand on with the grip of a touring pro. Now remember, the relationship of the two hands to one another is not going to change, but the relationship of the hand to the club face is going to change. So we're going to go carefully. Pad first, thumb second, and now fingers last, boom. Now keep that on there. Now take this one off. Now watch, we're going to hold that out in front of you. And when your thumb is right in the way, that club face right there is parallel to the ground. Mm-hmm. So that is the grip of a touring pro. Now, I'm gonna put my right hand over your left hand, okay? Now, we're gonna assimilate a swing. So we're gonna come back straight, we're gonna get steeper to flatter, we're gonna get ahead here, and then when we get into the ball, that's where we're gonna be. Put your right hand on over that, get those 3 knuckles in a row, that's perfect, really, really good. Okay, now I'm gonna put you in there, so I'm gonna get you forward. I'm gonna put you in that position. Okay, let this foot come off the ground. That's it right there. So that's where you're supposed to be when you hit the ball. Okay, now, I'm gonna have you take it back, and you got to spend all your time in that position. You're gonna come back to here, and just go back and forth from here to here. So in that critical spot here, you're gonna do it. Now back here, you can cock the wrist more, and once you go past here, your right arm's gonna straighten and the club's gonna go by. But see, what's happening to you is when you leave one to the right, you think I'm too far ahead and you're staying back and trying to do that. But if you're gonna be ahead properly, then that's how it's gotta be. Okay, now we're gonna hit a ball doing that. So walk on up to the ball, don't change your wrist. Okay, good, now watch, we're gonna just come down to here and we're gonna give it a little thump. Walk forward with both feet a little bit more that way. We're not gonna change this at all. Get ready, here it comes. That was pretty solid, but how did that feel different than normal to you? Anything you felt that was different? Now, yes, it wasn't fast, but did you feel something that was different about it? Was it more ahead? Was it more close? Was it more bowed? What did you notice?
I was definitely more ahead.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty big thing. So that might seem like an easy thing to talk about, but it's really not. Now, what we're going to do to get really good at this is we're going to spend more time in that position. I'm going to show you a way that you can do it that's going to make it a little easier to do. First thing is I'm going to take the little ball tray here, and I'm going to put it in a spot where it's going to be hard not to swing down the line. So watch. We're going to put this here. It looks like it's pointing left, but it's just on the arc. So if you swing to the right, it makes you hit it fat. You should be able to go along the line here and make that happen. So if I hit this one, I should be able to hit it towards that thing and not hit this. So this isn't pointing left, it's one in an endless series of ball trays that's pointing that way. So take a quick look. Here we go. So here, there, and around this way. So if you stay on this circle, when you hit the ground, you're going to hit the ground in the right place. So now we're getting pretty close. Now the final thing that we're going to do is once we have you in the right spot, okay, I'm going to take a towel and I'm going to put it around your arms and wrists so you can't move. So it's going to stay in this position the whole time. Now when we did the impact position, we started from here, but today I'm going to have you take it back to there, and then I'm going to have you go 1, 2, 3, and see if you can hit a solid shot when you do. The maintenance of the angle and the squareness of the wrist is the single biggest fundamental you can have in any shot. But when you're going fast, it's really easy to try not just make it go by fast and not really have a good feel for that. So step into these two first. Here we go. We're going to try to keep that grip on really normal. So easy, easy. Let's check and make sure that your check now is when you hold it out in front of you. When that's right in the way, that's perfectly straight up and down. When this is over it, the thumb has to be a little right of center there, but that's perfect. Right hand over that. Good. Now watch. 3 knuckles in a row. Good. Now when you're here, that's where the ball's going to be. Come through here first. Show me that. That's how far around you should go. Now, take it straight back. Come down here and see if you can go around and miss all of that. Okay, so show yourself this one. Go around in there. Good. Now, take it back and see if you can miss that. Not bad. One more. Passed it first. No backswing. Passed it for no backswing. Passed it first.
Passed it first.
Good. Now, bring it up. Come down and go around and miss it. That's very good. Try just one that way. That's a little better right away, isn't it? Good job. Yeah. Okay, now everything was good with your turn there, but your wrist was still a little off. Now here's the final piece of the puzzle. Okay, so keep your grip on, hold it up here for me. Okay, now this is not bondage, but it seems that way. Here we go. So we're going to put this around here so that this isn't going anywhere. And tie this up in between. Now, you're not going to be able to hit it far when you do this, but what I want to make sure you're feeling is that when we get this on here, we got to be in a spot where your wrist does not change. It's got to feel in that bowed position the entire time. If you haven't been doing it that way, it's going to feel to you like it's very arched, very constricted, but that's actually a good thing to have happen. That position, back to here, through to there. Now we want just a little tiny one. So have it be there, bring it back to there. Now without changing your wrist at all, go through, hit the ground, and go through, and it's got to stay in that position the whole time. So start here, bring it back, make the angle, have your wrist be bowed, then come back and hit the ground. Now come on back and through and hit the ground. That was a little better, wasn't it?
Yeah, so that curved a little to the right though. So what was
What's
that? That curved a little to the right.
It did, because
So,
if that happens, then you're not continuing to turn as much as you could.
Okay.
But see, we got to make sure that the wrist is actually bowed. The difference between that and that is pretty big.
Okay.
But that was really good. Do that again, stay right in there. I know it's hard to hit one from there, but see if you can. Not bad. Take it back a little bigger. Now go. Almost, I can't hit that. Got to miss that. So keep turning along with it. You're still going too hard. I just want a little one. So watch how small this is going to be. So we're going to take it to here. I'm going to do it with you. That one hooked, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what's got to happen. Here, no changes. So take it back to here. Now do one without a ball. Back and through. Good. Excellent. Still too big. Make it smaller. You want to hit it far. I know you don't. No, start here and bring it back there. That's it. And make it look at the ball. That's perfect. Your wrist and your angle are perfect now. Okay. Back and through, miss the tray. Very good. That's what it's supposed to feel like. Okay, good. Now, obviously you don't want to be tied up for long, okay? But what are we going to get from this? Come on back here for a second. There's three big things, okay? The first thing we're going to get from this is that this little tray right here is going to make you turn enough so that you will not swing to the right and hit it fat. Okay, so when you see that thing there and you see the towel here, it keeps this side of the arc moving the way it's supposed to. The second thing that's going to happen is it should make the ball hook. Now remember, we've talked about a hook is something that happens, that's a process. When you hit the ball, it doesn't jump off the club. It dwells on the club for a little while. It's flattened like a piece of clay, and it leaves the club later. So if you hit the ball any place and the club face looks like that, when it leaves, it's more closed, it'll have hook spin on it. So watch this one. I'm going to play one way, way, way back in my stance, way back here. And I'm going to continue turning. So even though the ball is going to start way right, that still hooks a little because I was continuing to turn. If I hit it in the normal spot in the swing and I turn, it's going to hook because of that. If I played it too far forward in my stance way up over here, it would hook from here because of that. But see, it's always going to hook if you continue to turn the whole time. But the only time that doesn't work is if when you get to the ball, if your wrist is like that. If your wrist is like that, then no matter how much you turn, so watch this one, instead of being here, if I have it like that, then when I go through, I can leave it way to the right all the time. So this is going to help you continue turning. You got to stay on the circle. The forwardness of the handle is going to help you hit down and start it to the right, but we have to have the wrist that lets the club face be square when you have a standard grip.
And if I do a strong grip, will I be able to kind of just...
Well, okay, now watch, I'll show you that. Okay, so here's one where I'm going to go forward, and that's a normal wrist. Now here's an open one, and I'm going to make my grip more closed, and now that's a square club, and it's not as bowed, is it?
Yeah.
So as long as it stays stable and it doesn't change, if I went through with that, I could still hook one by doing that. So the handle ahead has to happen, and the club face square has to happen, but the more correct your wrist is, the more correct your grip can be. So if you're getting ahead and you're hitting down and you're starting to the right, you did that okay. If you're turning enough so you hit the ground in the right place, you're okay. But if you're leaving it to the right, you either have to take the grip you have and make your wrist be more that way, or you got to have the wrist you have and you got to make the grip be that way.
If I were to keep the stronger grip, because that's what I played with yesterday. And
How'd it feel?
Really well. So would I be able to kind of just have my whole golf career if I just had that?
Sure, sure, sure. Well, there have been lots of good players. You asked for a few, but I mean, there have been quite a few guys from Paul Azinger to David Duval. I mean, there's a lot of people who really have that over that way quite a bit.
Yeah.
But see, what happens to a person who has a strongish grip is they have to use a lot of body action to really keep their hands ahead a lot.
I see.
But see, one of the things that happens when somebody's enamored with hitting it far is they like the whip, and the whip almost always makes the club pass you too quickly.
Yeah.
So the club does pass, but super slow-mo. Now watch this. Okay, we're gonna get to here. We're gonna have a 45-degree angle there. Then as you come into the ball, it's gonna be ahead to 160. Right arm is bent. Then both arms straighten there. Then it goes by and comes up to here. But you think anybody has ever done that too early? Oh yeah. And that's why you're struggling right now.
Yeah.
You're doing the right thing from the wrong place.
Yeah.
Or if you prefer, at the wrong time. So getting ahead should be a good thing, but not if the club's not square when you do it. So if you get ahead properly and leave it right, and then you stay back and it doesn't go so far right, you think you're onto something, but that's why we're doing this today, because that can never happen. Now it's going to be a continuing process of you getting your wrist to be better and better, but what I used to do with the kids on the team is I would have them spend some time in the position. So I want you to watch this. I'm going to set up to this one and get ready to go. And you can do it two ways. You can go forward in the impact position and then put the club there. We've done that before, okay? But I don't think that resonates with you quite enough. Now, if you come to here and you put it in the position you should be when you're back there. So remember, you've already got the angle, you've already got the square face. See, it's a little hard to start a swing from there and make solid contact. But if you put it back there and you're not inwardly bent, it's not a straight line, it's outwardly bent, and the club face is looking at the ball, it's not pointing way out, you are in your impact position. Okay, so now you got two options. You can keep it this way, see, you can't get to the ball unless you turn past it on the circle, or you can mess it up and you can send it by you. So learning to turn past it on the circle with your wrist in this position is the whole thing. That's what's got to happen. Now I'm going to do two of them. On the first one, I'm going to go forward to here, and I'm going to leave it there at impact. Now, if you're having trouble making solid contact when you try this one, that might help. You might get that one okay. But the one I want you to be able to do, because it's much more telling, is the one where you start with an inward bend. Now watch carefully. Now it's a straight line. Now it's an outward bend, but it's open. Now it's pointing at the ball. That's all. If you can do it with your wrist, fine. If you can't, you have to do it with your grip, fine. But when you have the angle and you have the club face, you've got everything you need. Now you start going back and forth. You see this thing in front of you, staying on the circle. You got to feel like, I'm not going to change this. I'm not going to send it by. Doing it slowly helps. But watch, I'll do one from here. That's where good contact comes from. That's what it's got to feel like. Now, remember, you got to be aware of it. You got to get up to here and still be ahead. Now, normally by here, it's going to start to go by. But see, it's going to be a challenge for you because you're so strong to make them small enough. Now, I hit an 8-iron there that went like 125 or 30 with just this little tiny swing. Okay, your club head speed is way more than that. But if you're sending it by to do it, then you're not going to get the feel for it. So really, you could have the feel for having the correct angle, the correct wrist, and the correct rotation in a couple of weeks if you work on that solely. But you got to be small enough to do it. Before you do it again, one more time, I want you to watch. Normal address first, something in the way that shows you this side of the circle. Then normal grip that features having the thumb right in the way, but the back of the left hand and the leading edge of the club are in a good spot. You bring it down to the ball. You don't have an inward bend. You don't have a straight line. You have an outward bend and the club's at the ball. Now you start rocking back and forth on the circle. Is my wrist changing? No. Is the angle changing? No. Everything's staying the same. Then you pick one out and you hit it. You're going to know right away that the contact is so good. It's like, oh my God, I've never done it quite that way before.
Yeah.
The failure rate in the first 100 is about 80%. Okay, yeah. So be ready for that, but get that grip on well. Okay, so up to there is good. Okay, I'm going to put my right hand over your left hand. Keep this one right at center, pointing left. That's beautiful. Right hand over that. Okay, so get ready. Here we go. Now, that's an inward bend. That's a straight line. That's an outward bend. That's a perfect wrist. Okay, now see that. You're going to have to go around, so we're going to just start rocking on a circle. Good. Nothing's changing, is it?
Nope.
That's good. See how the club face is square there? You're going to hit the ground on this next one. But that's as far as I want you to go. Try not to let that happen. Okay, so show me again. Back to there. Now rock 3 times and hit it on the 4th one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty good. Okay, now that's what I want you to do. Keep it that small. Now rock 3 times and hit it on the 4th one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not bad, buddy. Pretty good. Pretty good. Now see, this is where you have to start asking yourself, what feels different to me about this? I don't think that feels anything like your normal swing, does it?
Not
No,
really,
it
not
okay,
really.
Okay.
I think I was just so much over here.
Yes, okay.
Versus
Okay,
like here.
so think of it this way. If you're going to have an outward bend, when your hands are over the ball, the club's still back there, right? So when the club gets to the ball, where are your hands going to be? They're going to be farther around on the circle, aren't they?
Yeah.
The temptation to get your hands over the ball where they were at address and let the club catch up is very strong, but it's very wrong. So when you're going to be here, if you're going to keep that the same, you're going to be so much farther around by the time you hit it, you're going to think, oh God, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But hands ahead will keep it from going way left.
Is there a difference, say I do the strong grip again, just going back to that. Is there any difference in the way?
Not in the circle. The circle's the same. The downwardness is the same. The place it hits the ground past the ball is the same.
Yeah.
All that happens is that the better you are at having your wrist go a little more there, the less closed your grip has to be.
Okay.
That's all.
But the whole mechanics would be
all the rest is the same. Okay, so if there's a little period of time where you're hitting the ground, they're coming off well, and they're staying a little to the right, you know that the club face isn't looking at the ball quite enough.
Yeah.
You got to ask yourself, okay, can I do that and keep my wrist like that when I hit? Or if your wrist is only like that, then you have to have a club that's a little more close in your hand. That's all.
Okay.
Okay, but you're going to get stronger just by being in the position.
Okay.
Get ready. Here we go. Bent line, straight line, bent the other way on 3. 1, 2, 3. Almost. That's okay. Stay going around. That's why that thing's there. Bent line, straight line, outward bend. Clubs hit the ball perfectly. Now we're going to stay on the circle. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Very good. They're hooking, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's good. You hooked it without turning it over.
Yeah.
You just had a solid wrist and the rotation did it. That's a big deal. That usually takes 5 to 10 years for a person to do. For you to be able to do that in the first 6 months of your development is ridiculously good, but you have to identify it. When you do that, it's like, oh, that day I was hooking it, it felt like what to me? So how would you describe it?
When I just did that?
Yes,
I was fully rotated.
Attaboy. 1, 2.
Oh my God.
Wow. There we go. You're going to have to work on your crowd wave if you continue to do that. Okay, now.
That felt completely different.
Okay, now, if you were to try a normal shot, how many of those repetitions would you need before that would be built in and you wouldn't have to think about it anymore? It's kind of new right now, isn't it?
Yeah,
okay. But put your hands on it. Now here's your 2 options. Okay, so that's a good normal grip. Now, if you take the club back normally and you get to here with your wrist cuppy, you're going to be able to get a big, big, big angle. And then when you come down, you get down to here. That's when it gets there.
Yeah.
Now, you just do that same thing through the ball. Or you can take it back and you can do that right away and take it back and keep it there. Now, if one seems simpler, you can pick the simpler one. If one seems more powerful, you can pick the more powerful one. But can you be successful if your hands are not ahead? No. Can you be successful if your club is not pointing at the ball? No.
Yeah.
And will you hit the ground in the right place if you're not staying on the circle? No. So those are the things you got to try to do.
I think I'm not feeling anything because I'm just going so fast.
Yeah, exactly right.
And I'm just
exactly.
like, and even my camera, like I'm like looking at it, it's just so fast, I can't even see
well, my app, remember, slows things down really a lot, so we can see it super well. But if you were to see yourself at impact and you were going like that and going by, you should be horrified by that.
Yeah.
But see, when you're first getting started, if your club head speed's way up and you hit it hard and you occasionally catch one well and it goes pretty far, you think, well, I'm on the right track, but you're not making the contact the way you want. Now take one more backswing and stop. Okay, take it up there. Okay, now that's a pretty normal wrist that's flat from the underside.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you come down, you got the big angle. You're coming down to here. You're doing great. Okay, when's it going to change? There.
Yeah.
But that's not a natural thing. See this thing sticking out? That's the worm.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what would have to happen. But when you get down there, you're going to keep it like that as you go through. And the one that just went 70 yards in the air with a slight hook, and the ones that are going to go 270, is it going to be exactly the same to here? Then your right arm will straighten, then it'll go by. But the reason we're having this discussion today is when you go fast now, it's going by like this.
Yeah,
that's what's happening. So for a little while, putting it there and just keeping it the same, building up the muscle, getting used to the solidarity of contact, getting used to the turn, throwing it down and hitting the ground that well, all good things.
Gotcha. And then another question in regards to like the steeper to flatter, is that equivalent to inside out, or what's the...
Well, that's a good question. Let me explain that, okay? Technically, steeper to flatter means that wherever the club is here, take a look at the club.
Yeah.
Then when you change directions, it's more here. It's lower and more in.
Yeah.
Coming over the top is bringing it in early and having it go more out. Now, you want to have a body action that moves around here. That's good. But if when you use your body that way, the club goes from low to high, you're going to pull it every time.
Yeah.
So what people who do this do is when they pull one left, they try to turn less, and when they stop turning, then they hit the ground in the wrong place. What you want to have is you want to have one that comes up here and drops in. Now, if you don't turn, you'll hit back here, and once you dropped it in here, now the more you turn, the better the shot gets. You move the bottom of the arc forward.
Okay.
So steeper to flatter encourages you to turn, both because it hits the ground in the right place and because it helps you continue to hook the ball without turning it over.
Gotcha.
Anytime you see a shot where the ball curves to the left in the air and you didn't feel like you flipped it over, that's just a sign that it was a continuing rotation. Right now, you're way more about speed and killing people with your driver than you are being able to have that relationship where you have that bent line, the good wrist, and a nice rotation.
Yeah.
So you need to develop that as quickly as you can. What you're going to see pretty quickly is that people who are doing that just feel like, of course, that's a part of what I have to do. I can't make it hit solid if I don't do it. But right now, you're not making that connection quite enough. So it's a really big deal.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to try to go slow to medium, and we'll try to hit something hard and see how well it goes. So here it comes on 3. 1, 2, 3. You could see the hook spin on that one.
Yeah.
You didn't let it hit down quite enough, but that's pretty good. Now, I want you to try to do the same thing. Keep it pretty small. Don't try to hit it far, but start normal. Then put the angle in with the good wrist. Then try to miss that and rock on 3. 1, 2, 3. Not bad. Hit down more to make it go up more. Okay. You're trying to get under it a little. You want to have a nice loud thump. Don't be afraid. Keep turning. Back to here. That's it. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Not bad. If it hits behind it, then you didn't turn enough. If it fades, your wrist went back to that and didn't stay there. Okay, that's it. So that's the feel. Feels pretty close, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that. That's normal though. Okay, again. One more. So start here. Have it be there. That's it. It's looking right at the ball. Don't change that. Okay, keep it small. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Ooh. Not bad, not bad. Now I'm going to help. Okay, stay in there. The descent is a big part of it. So feel this. Get ready. Here we go. On 3. 1, 2. Easy, easy, easy. Hang in there. Hang in there. Don't help. I'm going to do it. On 3. 1, 2. Just got to keep the rotation going. You can't be afraid to hit down. See, the reason anybody's afraid to hit down is because you think you're going to hit behind it.
Yeah.
But if you're going to turn well enough, then that's not going to happen.
Okay.
Okay, now on this one, I want you to take that same wrist, okay, that you had right there to here, and I want you to take it all the way up to the top of the swing and feel like it's a little bowed the whole time, and see if you can keep it that way as you come past the ball. So come on back, put it there, then take a bigger swing and go all the way through, trying to miss everything while you go by. So here we go. Set yourself up to where the ball is going to be here. Then take it back and put it in that position. Now make a big full swing. Good. Okay, I wonder what will happen. Here we go. So set it up to there. Normal, normal, normal. And we're going to make it part of the swing. You're going to go to there, and as soon as you reach that spot, go. So here we go. Show me what you're going to do. Good. And then go. Here we go. You do it. Put it in that spot. Go. Wow.
Oh,
that's similar to golf, don't you think?
Yeah, I just need to keep
now,
turning.
Did you end up turning all the way around?
No.
No, you didn't. But you were thinking about your wrist. That's okay. That was a very good one. For a little while, setting the wrist and keeping it there is going to be very helpful for your body to get a feel for it. So you're going to take it back to here and then go. So delay just a half a second. So get it there, then change nothing until you get back to the ball. Okay, so here we go. Make it look at the ball. Feels bowed, doesn't it?
Yep.
Okay, now show me that. Take it back and stop. Go. Got it. If it hits behind it, stay on the circle a little more. Go around all you can. Okay. As I told you, the failure rate tends to be pretty high initially. Okay, normal first. Good. Get the grip on well. Keep the hands down here. Then all the way to there and go. Here we go. All the way back to that spot. Go. Wow. Jerome.
I think that feel
Yeah, talk to me.
is completely different because I'm like so rotated.
Yes, yes. Well, see, the easy way to understand it, when you start right here, okay, your chest, your hands are facing the ball, aren't they?
Yeah.
If you're going to have this angle, how can you get the club to the ball unless you're around there more? You can't.
Yeah.
So the inclination is just to bring it back to where it started from. It's the worst possible thing you can do, but that's the instinct, isn't it?
In my mind, I'm thinking I'm rotating a lot, but I'm not really cognizant of that. But then I was like, okay, I'm just going to rotate like 2x more, but it's just a regular rotation.
Yeah, exactly. You see that and you know, well, if I don't turn more, I'm going to bang into that thing. So that can be a wonderful training aid. You have to reach the point where because you have a good angle and because you have a good wrist and because you have a good rotation, you start to hit nice shots. And then you get to decide whether you want to come back and you want to keep your wrist that way, like Xander Schauffele or John Rahm, or whether you can take it back here and you can morph into that because you think it would be more powerful. But certainly you wouldn't do that initially. Just to get the feel, you want to spend some time in this position. First, because it's going to make it simpler, you don't have to make a change. And secondly, because it builds up that muscle. Okay, so that's a very big muscle. If you're doing work in the gym, if you get a bar with a rope on it and a weight, what you do is you hold it with your right hand, you turn it with the left, you turn it with the left and you get the rope to come all the way, the thing to come all the way up. Then you put it back down again the other way. You make it go back down again so that you're always doing like the motorcycle throttle.
Yeah.
But see, when you do that, you're going to feel it under there. So you want that to be so stable that you can go through at high speed and it's not going to break down on you.
Yeah, I think mine's just loose.
Yeah.
It's so
I mean, everything else on you is really strong, but right here, not so much. Okay, so that's a pretty big deal. Okay, now 2 more, please. Go. Not bad. Go. Very nice.
Yeah, no, okay. I realize how weak this is.
Okay. All right, now.
I need to work out.
Very good. Now, last thing, almost done. Okay, I want you to take your 60, and we're going to hit a little tiny shot that way. Okay, now, here's the problem. A lot of people think, okay, when I have my wrist this way, it's open. When I have it like this, it's closed. No, it's not. It's more closed than it is when it's like this, but it's actually square if you're doing the right thing. Okay. So most people think, well, if I did this, I would hit low ones to the left every time and it'd be terrible. But no. So watch this. You need to do some of these where you take it back to here and do that. It feels real bowed, and then you still go by and you're able to get it up in the air when you do that. It's going to teach you to kind of keep the hands ahead as you go through. So this is going to be here. Choke down about halfway on this one. Okay, this is a really good thing to do when you're getting a little tired in your practice session. You can get exactly the same amount of work done on your wrist this way and actually make your short game pretty good. Look at you taking your glove off, very advanced.
I actually started not wearing my glove for my 8 and 9 iron too.
Really? Okay. Well, usually it's less than full shots, but whatever it is, Hogan never wore a glove. Best ball striker of all time. Okay, so stay on the 2 coins, be a little open, choke down on the club a little bit, very good. Have the club square, good. Then go under to here, and now I want you to, see, it's got to be bowed. So if your wrist is good, okay. So
is this
give me a normal grip, grip.
I was trying to,
if you're worried about your grip, hold on, hold it out in front of you. And when it's there, it's got to be flush. Okay. That's it. Okay. Good. Right hand over that. Good. So get it to here. Then go under there, and then get ahead and hit. Try not to hit that. Do one without a ball. So start here to begin with.
I'm hitting this exactly the same.
Yeah, exactly the same. There.
This.
Now small, there's only going to go 20 yards. Good, good, good. The right foot should stay down on this one, remember?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Got it.
So you're going to do this to there. Now watch. So just turn and stand up. Go. Wow. Now don't take this the wrong way, but that was uncharacteristically solid.
I know. I think
How does it feel? What are you noticing?
Well, I'm just trying to over-exaggerate everything that I think I'm doing.
No, that's actually normal. Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
good.
So if that feels like an over-exaggeration, then you have not been doing it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But see, there's something that was really good about that one, wasn't there?
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, take it back and stop. Go.
Oh.
Okay, that's all right. That's all right. That time you didn't remember to keep turning, so you wouldn't have hit the ground in the right place. Aren't you glad that was there to remind you?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So once again, okay, you're still coming in here. Straight back is there.
Okay.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
Yeah,
So take it back to there, and then go. Just miss that. So you don't have to turn it over. You can come up here.
Okay.
Okay. Don't turn it over. Okay. So get ready. So here, I'm going to throw it by. This doesn't have to go way left, does it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it should go right towards that red flag. Okay, one more time together. So watch, normal, normal, normal. Here we go. Now watch, under. Now, see, you can keep it even to the right, can't you? That was really good. Now take it out to there. Go. Not bad. Very good. Now it doesn't have to go left. You can make that go towards that red flag. Okay.
Oh, I gotta
watch when I
keep
do
it
it
up
with.
there.
Yeah, you're turning it over. So when you get to here, just go right straight there. Okay, so one more together. Here we go. Here, now. Okay, but keep turning fast.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. One more by you. Take it back and stop. Go.
Oh, I keep flipping it though.
You've hit shots that were less solid than that, haven't you?
Every shot.
Okay. Okay, big day today, okay? Quick review. Number one, there are no successful golfers who do not have a 160-degree angle and a square club face and lots of rotation at impact.
Yeah.
Okay? So the rotation makes you hit the ground in the right place. If you don't turn enough, it hits here. If you turn more, it hits there. If you turn the right amount, it hits there. If you hit it fat, you're swinging to the right.
Yeah.
That's why these are there to remind you to go left.
Yeah.
Number two, okay, if you try to stay back here and try to get under it, or you think you need more time to turn it over, you're not going to catch the ball on the way down, so you have to be ahead. But if you're going to be ahead and be on the circle, the club face is going to be open unless you have a different wrist at impact than you had at address.
Yep.
Okay, now, even if you have a stronger grip, it's still going to be a different grip or different wrist than you had at address. So whatever you do, you'll change it less if you have a stronger grip and change it more if you have a weaker grip, but still what you have there and what you have there are different places.
Yep.
So if you spend a millisecond in that position in a regular swing and you spend hours and hours like this, you're not going to learn much about what it feels like to be in that spot.
Yeah.
So the big thing here is if you put it in that spot and you put it there, and then you go from there, you're going to learn the utility of it right away. You're going to see that it's effective, but you're also going to build up the corresponding muscle.
Got it.
All of which are very good for you.
And then for the driver, it's the same thing?
Same exact thing, yeah.
Just...
See, I want to see the driver on the video where instead of going over there,
yeah, God,
you have the same thing happening.
Yeah.
But see, for a while, it's going to seem like it's too constraining to you. You feel like you wouldn't be able to whip it fast.
Yeah.
See, the whip happens, the fast part comes when it's going from this angle to there. That's the fast part. It doesn't have to go by to go fast.
Yeah.
So you're still going to be ahead when you hit, and then after you get past here, it's going to go by. But see, you're trying to make it go by here because it seems to make more sense.
Yep.
When you know that getting ahead has to happen, being square has to happen, and continuing on the circle has to happen, then you'll have it.
Got it. Yeah, I think I think the continuing on the circle is
That's
the
good.
one.
It's not a baby thing to get something in your way. It really isn't. Yeah. See, if you try to start it to the right and you start swinging to the right and you're picking it clean and you don't realize you're swinging to the right, see, then you're going to regress. If you have something in the way, see, it was really good that every time you went out there, you banged it a little bit, and then immediately next four, you were around the corner just right and you were hitting the ground in the right place.
Yeah.
So any kind of training aid like that is very good. This is a cheap one. You just steal somebody's ball tray who's right in front of you. And you can afford a towel. I think you can, yes. Okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thanks, Mike.
Good job there.
So that is another day in the bag on this journey from scratch to scratch. So hopefully that lesson was useful to you. And if it was, smash that like button because every like helps us a small creator. And thank you for everyone that's already joined the S2 family. It means the world to me. The community has been great. And if you're watching this, the 70% that's not subscribed, definitely stay tuned, subscribe, join the revolution, and click this video if you want to keep watching more. Da, da, da. All right, guys, see ya.